Let's talk about archaeology and the color purple. Not the movie. So if you're a church kid like me, you always heard about the color of royalty, purple. Well, thanks to the work of archaeologists working in the Timna Valley in Israel, we finally get a glimpse of what this royal purple looks like. The archaeologists working in the Timna Valley found the remains of a purple fabric cloth. And let me tell y'all something, this is rare and important. It's rare because archaeologists don't be finding fabrics. We do not find fabrics that often because fabrics don't usually stand the test of time because of deterioration, right? So this fabric is definitely rare, and it's important because of the date for this fabric. Archaeologists were able to test the fabric and found that this fabric dates to approximately 1000 BC. Did you rewind that? And found that this fabric dates to approximately 1000 BC. That means we found a rare purple fabric from 1000 BC. So if you remember my timeline video, you remember that 1000 BC is right around the time of King David. So that means that we have a piece of purple cloth from the time period of King David. This means that this is the oldest known piece of purple fabric. The reason that the color purple was only associated with royalty or people of elite power is because they were the only ones that could afford it. Purple fabric in ancient times was a really expensive thing to have, like really expensive, because the process to create the purple dye to make purple cloths was extensive and long and tedious. I mean, it was no joke. So the ancient process for making the purple dye that would later be used to make purple fabric involved first collecting the glands from live Mediterranean seashells. And FYI, just to get 1 gram of the purple dye extract or the powder to make the dye, just to make 1 gram of this, you need 100 pounds of these seashells. Ancients would then take these glands and ferment them so that the color would be released from the glands. Then the ancients had to filter the color out of all of the goop and juices that made the purple. They had to filter all of that out so they could just only get the color and not snail goop. Then once the dye was filtered, they had to set that out and let that dry so that they then could collect it and then make the powder. And that's how ancients made purple dye, which would eventually turn to purple cloths. It's so crazy. It's so long. No wonder nobody could afford it. The process was long. And archaeologists are excited about this purple fabric because it tells us so much about the people who left this purple fabric behind. And that's why this fabric is such an important archaeological find, because it gives us a visual context for the color purple in ancient Israel during the time of King David. There are a number of experimental archaeologists and experimental historians that have actively did out the process. If you want to check out some of those videos, their links are below or in my bio. And that's just so you know.